Hi Gemini, and welcome to your Spiritual Path Tarot reading for July 2019. This is for those of you who are spiritually gifted or for those of you who are on a spiritual journey at this time. There's a lot of beautiful energy happening in July, Gemini, so I'm excited to do these. Let's start by pulling a card to see overall energy or focus for you guys at a spiritual level for July. Okay, so we have a guardian. Guard your energy. All right, Gemini. This right here, you guys might be victim of some energy vampires. And that means these are people who either knowingly or unknowingly suck energy. Now, unknowingly are just the really negative people where everything's always wrong. There's always drama. You just, like, you may love and care for the person, but, like, you may avoid some calls or, you know, wait to delay to some text messages. Is because, like, dealing with them, it kind of wears you out. That's an energy vampire, okay? And with this card showing, those of you that have a lot of people like that in your life, you've really got to kind of put some boundaries in place in July and assert yourself. And, you know, even if you have a really good, kind, caring heart and you want to help, this to me is like you need to protect your energy more and maybe not be so available to people who always have a problem, always have a dilemma, always this, always that, because they're just sucking you dry of your energy, Gemini, with that card right there. Also, now, you know, those of you who are spiritually gifted, if there is, you know, somebody who in your life that you know is also spiritually gifted, you know, with energy and such, and you kind of feel like they don't have the best intentions, you might just want to do a full grounding meditation and energy, you know, protection and shielding, just in general, because, you know, not everybody intends to send negative vibes, you know, but thoughts are thoughts. And in July, it just looks like you guys are incredibly sensitive to all the energies around you, whether you're spiritually gifted or you're just on a spiritual journey. You guys are very heightened, very sensitive. And also, you know, with the moon cycle there, we do have this, and then, you know, the big full moon, we do have the total solar eclipse with this Cancer new moon. And Gemini, I feel that, you know, through this energy, you're coming into a place of love and care for yourself that maybe wasn't so present before. And in that space, you're becoming empowered. In fact, I feel many of you should do a lot of solar plexus chakra work in the month of July, because that's your personal power. And I feel like some of you really need to, like, reclaim your personal power. And you may not even have recognized that you've been giving it away because you've been, you know, helpful. You've been doing Spirit's work, all these things, and now Spirit's saying it's time for you to be replenished, for you to be recharged, for people to give back to you, Gemini. So if there's somebody in your life, you know, that's always taking but never giving, it's time to take a step back from that. And, you know, maybe even do some sacral chakra work, because that is where we empathize with others. You might be a bit overextended in the sacral chakra and kind of deflated in the solar plexus. So there's like a balance I feel that needs to take place. Like I just keep feeling that as I look at this card. And in that space, you do reclaim your personal power, and you don't feel bad about saying no or not answering phone calls or cutting certain people off. You know, I personally have had to do that with people that I really loved, even some family. But when somebody doesn't really care about you, they just want what you have, like, I will say this, sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'm not a freaking 8-ball that you can just shake and keep asking questions. I'm not freaking Tinkerbell here. You know, like, I've felt that way with some friends and some family, just really taking advantage of, you know, my gift and my ability, and, you know, wanting to get a hold of other connections that I have in the community. And it's just, yeah, no, it's not okay. You know, those of you who are gifted spiritually, however you know, bring that forth into a manifestation, it is not your job to serve everybody for free, okay? It truly isn't. At this point, with friends and family, I will, if somebody's asking me for a reading, it depends on what the request is about. You know, if it's something pretty big, like spiritual, yeah, I'm gonna get right into it usually. But if it's just like this mundane, like, you know, I'm having issues with this person, what's the energy around? Like, no more of that, because, like I said, I'm not a magic 8 ball, and neither are you guys. And so it's very good to share and give and, you know, do spirit's work. But, you know, there's a point where you get taken advantage of, or you're giving way too much. And I just feel, Gemini, many of you need to find that balance within with the sacral and solar plexus chakra, and not be afraid to say no, and not be afraid to cut certain people out of your life despite who they are, if they truly don't honor you and value you and just treat you, you know, like, when they need you and they need some spiritual guidance, you know, like I say now, I'm like, you know what, I have a channel. Why don't you watch my channel, see what messages spirit brought through in the general readings, you know, like I do now. And I never used to do that before, but you have to draw the line. And, you know, those of you on a spiritual journey right now, Gemini, I kind of feel the same. It holds true. There's people in your life that just deplete you and take far too much from you, which is making you stumble and not achieve your full potential. So let's pull some more cards. Okay, in the heart space, we have a twin flame journey. In the mental body, we have rebirth. In the soul, we have painful lesson. And in the physical, we have cosmic timing. Okay, yeah, Gemini, listen, even though this is twin flame, what I feel about this is, for some of you, this very well could involve your twin flame. But as a general, just due to the nature of this reading, that to me is connections that are near and dear to your heart, that are taking too much, that, you know, have depleted you and kind of led you astray at times, which is, you know, put you through some really painful lessons. But now in the mental body, you're coming through very clear in July, like you want different for yourself. And, you know, a lot of these painful experiences and lessons that you've been going through was to hollow you out for a rebirth, for a brand new start, you know, for your energy to just elevate and get rid of, like, yeah, it's just like, I feel you guys have a lot of different people, connections, situations that just weigh you down. And because of that, with painful lesson, like different choices you've made to help them out or be there for them, ultimately ended up like making you lose out on something, or you're ended up holding the bag, like you kind of got screwed over, I feel, for some of you. And now, you know, this is the time, July, cosmic timing, that's in the physical, that's your reality of now through July, where it is time for you to put your foot down and cut the, you know, lower energies out of your life, because spirit has a rebirth for you in store, because your energy is like different, like you're vibrating here, but these connections and situations like pull you down and you can't reach your potential, and the timing is absolutely now. For others of you, this here could also mean that those of you who have been separated from a twin flame, and that's been a huge part of your spiritual journey, awakening and process, I see like a reconciliation. you know, a lot of painful, hard lessons have been learned on both sides in this situation, and it's time for a rebirth. It's time for a new perception. Your energy is different, their energy is different, okay? And this solar eclipse and new moon, along with Mercury retrograde, it may be that it's finally time for you guys to realign with each other, okay? Others of you, this could very well be that you are going to align with your twin flame in the month of July. And again, it would be very instrumental to your spiritual journey, since this is a spiritual reading. I did see that twin flame journey card in Aries reading, so if you have any attachment to an Aries, that, you know, I highly recommend checking out that reading as well. So Gemini, let's pull some dice. Okay, so we have the Empress coming through. We have the Five of Wands. We have the Lovers. I like that. This represents you, but also it's about these connections that are near and dear to your heart, or an actual twin flame. We have the Queen of Swords. And lastly, we have the Tower. So, Gemini, with all of these coming out, yeah, I do see where it is time for you to cut some ties and situations off out of your life. It is. I see internal conflict about it, but ultimately, Gemini, in order for you to like elevate to where you truly belong, it's time to protect and guard your energy. And sometimes you can't make choices based on your emotion. You have to make those choices based on your logic. And I see that coming through with the Queen of Swords as well as the Empress, okay? Because the Empress is fertile energy. She is wise. She is strong. She is like the Earth Mother. She can take care of all. But most importantly, she knows how to also take care of herself. Like, she understands that balance, that flow of the divine feminine, divine masculine within her, the sacral and solar plexus chakras, okay? And that's who you are. That's where Spirit's trying to rise you to be, okay? But I do see these connections near and dear to your heart that need to be cut off, cut out of your life, because they do not serve you. And Gemini, just because the Tower's there, if there are people that just kind of like dissipate, walk out on you, abandon you, you've got to trust Spirit in that they're not part of your journey right now, and their energy is in a much, much different place, and it will only harm you and take from you if they remained part of your journey at this time. All right, now to get to this twin flame stuff, very, very reiterated through the dice here, okay? This is, for some of you, might be actually kind of shocking, the return of this person, or actually meeting this person for the first time, all right? But there's this confirmation of twin flame energy in this reading where you may have been kind of on the fence about it, like, you know, is this or is this not? And I feel like it is, okay? And it is part of your spiritual journey, your spiritual path this lifetime. Yeah, and you know what? Some of you, with the Tower there's definitely, I feel, going to be some sort of shock going on. But ultimately, Taurus, I'm sorry. Ooh, it could involve a Taurus. Because we were talking about Aries earlier, right? And having similar read. We weren't talking about Taurus, so some of you, this could involve a Taurus. Wow. Gemini. There's an element of shock, a swift change, Tower moment, but it brings about rebirth, and it's a good thing. Like, it's, I don't see like the Three of Swords, the Five of Cups down here. I see good stuff, like you being really strong and independent in yourself, and no longer deciding to, you know, save this person that it's always the same problem over and over and over. Like, I just see you becoming very strong and empowered in self, and not feeling bad having to cut certain people off. Because in that process, Gemini, I don't know, there's some big change up, shake up going on for you in July, which I'm not surprised with that solar eclipse energy, but it like brings forth your rebirth, the happiness. It's time for this. And it's time to cut off those energy vampires. And also, you know, those of you spiritually gifted, maybe do some, you know, grounding and protective meditations, because with the dice that have come out, there could be a big shift, something really positive taking place for you in July that could make others jealous and, you know, send you bad vibes. So just protect your energy. And, you know, if you're surprised that certain people aren't on your side that you thought they were, that's okay. Spirit is making them fall out of your life so that you can rise and elevate to where you are supposed to be, because it is time. So let's pull some more cards here. All right, so we have the Four of Intuition. This is kind of where it's like, you know everything I'm saying, but it goes back to that internal conflict of like, no, I don't want that. I don't want it to be that way. And Spirit's saying, don't be stuck in this energy to where the real thing passes you by. Like it's time to cut off what pulls you down, Gemini. Next out is the Two of Intuition. Why? Because this right here is the full recognition of what true unconditional love means, whether that be for yourself, for another, or you're falling in love with Spirit for the first time. This is coming out under that twin flame energy. So listen, Gemini, I do feel for those of you, you know, spiritually gifted on a spiritual journey this lifetime, I do feel there is this other half to you, and that's probably another reason why I was picking up on the solar and sacral chakras, the divine feminine, the divine masculine. That is very much a part of your journey. Some of you, you've been through a lot with this person already, and you're really closed off, but you're going to be shocked at how much Spirit has grown them and changed them. And when you guys come into reunion, it's just going to be a completely different situation. Now, this, going back to the energy vampires, listen, Gemini, we need to shed them so Spirit can align you to true, real connections that actually help uplift you and water you and not pull you down. On top of the Lovers, we have the Manifestor. This would be the Emperor in a standard tarot deck. And so in this, so that would be an Aries, right? And I said Aries had a very similar read with this twin flame, so it's reiterated right there. But Gemini, this right here is showing me, because, you know, the Lovers is the representation of Gemini in the tarot. To me, this is how empowered that you are going to become in July, where it's time to get rid of bad connections so that new ones can come in. And you're going to feel strong. And look at that, the Eternals. Here's more twin flame Lovers energy. This would be the Lovers. So, yeah, Gemini, it is definitely all about connections. Let's see, what did I name Aries? Connections, twin flame, and activation is what I named Aries reading. And so if you have strong Aries energy in your natal chart even, I would highly recommend that if you're not dealing with an Aries person, just because that's coming through so strong, the message that I'm seeing come forth. Gemini, overall, whether you're spiritually gifted or you're on a spiritual journey, what I see here is it's really time to cut the crap out of your life through people and situations, because there's all this beautiful new energy connections that are wanting to come in. And lastly, we have the Intuition Mentor. This is somebody who is really going to help you grow, and depending on your soul contract is how you will experience that relationship and connection. Based on this reading, Gemini, to me, this is a very positive connection. Yeah, you guys, listen, get rid of the heavy, the old, and let's just say one of them is one of the energy vampires right now is your twin flame. It might be time to put some separation there so that your twin flame can grow and stop taking from you, and so that you can heal and mend, okay? Apply this how it truly fits for you, because what I see is it's time to shed the old. Let it go so spirit can elevate you and bring in the new. And what is the new? Well, for you guys, it's like relationships, it's connections, it's twin flame energy, 100%. Very strong with twin flame journey, the Eternals, and the Lovers with the Two of Intuition. Very strong. Also, this is water energy, so could involve a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. We have that. Gemini, your own energy, and then really strong Aries coming in. And then I just had that little slip up of Taurus. So there you go with that. But ultimately, Gemini, it's restoring the balance between the solar and sacral chakras, where you're very empowered and you're no longer willing to put up with anybody's crap, regardless of connection and emotion. It's time for you to do you and put you first. So that you can replenish and rise, like elevate. I really feel like Spirit's trying to elevate you, and there's these new connections coming in, and twin flame energy really strong. If we're separated, Gemini, trust the process. I kind of feel like when you reunite, it's really shocking and unexpected the way it happens, the way it goes down. There's just some painful lessons that you've got to overcome and heal from, all right? And some of you, just based on this lineup of cards, you could be aligning or meeting with your twin flame in the month of July. And if that happens, Gemini, to me, that's the crystalline twin flame union where you guys come together. There's an activation that takes place inside both of you, and really expands your consciousness, awakens your spirit in a whole new way. And you, the two of you, could have a spiritual mission to fulfill this lifetime together, all right? So let's pull final card here. Yeah, look at that. Love. I love it. Yep, Gemini. It's time to shed the old so that the new can come in. And some of you, this could be shedding old emotional baggage so that you and another person can start a new beginning, okay? New connections, ultimately like healing in the heart. But it comes through that balance of the sacral and the solar plexus, reclaiming your personal power and cutting off the energy vampires, Gemini, so that you can return to a place of love within yourself, which ultimately attracts new connections in that are much more stable, true, pure, stronger, you name it. It's there. I see it. So, Gemini, those are your messages. I am wishing you all the very best. Take care.